How we doing now? That's better. Jesus, I don't know why it was set that high. All right. Let's see. I do this in the thing. Okay, let's open it and I'm recording. Yes. Okay, good. Okay, everything's good. Man, I'm glad I don't do an intro for these sessions cuz I wouldn't know where to put it.
Okay, there we go. I should be balanced. Okay, so where do you want to start then?
Well, you said you have the shoe and the skate park?
Yep.
Um, let's start with the shoe. The skate park is a lot of big flats. They should both be pretty quick jobs though with two people. But
Yeah,
yeah.
the shoe doesn't have a ton of details on it.
Oh, it does. That's why I think you should do it with my help. Because it's a frustrating one, honestly.
Oh, I told you I did the first step of the Midgar special pack. Okay, co-op is open, friends only. You should be able to join. The first mission of that has you do one of the motorcycles, and holy crap, the number of like tiny little pieces that thing has underneath it. It took me forever to get every detail of that bike finished.
Oh,
Mostly
yeah.
because so much of it was the underside.
Right. God, can you imagine how painful that would be if you were actually the one doing all that squatting? And apparently being prone?
Yeah.
Oh. Sometimes it can't decide whether I make a jump or not. At least they they definitely did some work on the ladder because you remember how slippery the ladder was.
Oh yeah, I haven't used that much. I started using the tall scaffolded platform a bit, but
Yeah, the platform is really
yeah, this
nice.
actually feels a lot better than I remember it being.
Apparently, I wasn't the only one who had complaints. But it's good. I keep forgetting like that I got this game when it was still early release. Is it even at like considered its full release yet?
I assume so. I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure it is.
All right, let's see what equipment we got again. Okay, we do have the
I mean,
extensions.
considering it's gotten two pretty big licensing deals, I feel like that would be coming from a completed game.
Ooh, you have the second gun on here now.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, although I should like take the extender off. There we go. Short extender. Oh man, in the campaign, when you get like to the point where you can afford like the most expensive base power washer, there's a level where you have to hit everything through a fence. So if you've been able to afford the best power washer, but you haven't saved enough to also get the long extension for it, it turned into a little bit of just like a bouncing back and forth, just earning pennies for completing little segments until I finally got it enough for the extender to finish it off.
Yeah, let's see. I have a decent amount of money to spend. I don't remember what I was going to go for next, but I'm almost at 1,200, and the next washer costs 2,000. It also requires a few more stars than I currently have available. So I'm not ready for any major upgrade. Did I get all of the equipment for?
Oh man, so have you heard that we've been having like a crazy rainy season here?
I'd heard a little bit about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, like 3 times our total rainfall that we normally get. We're actually getting more rain this year than either Seattle or Portland.
Wow.
Today is the first day it's actually reaching 80, and we're normally like we normally have a few by this point in the year, but like it's been nice to actually have like a cool spring.
Yeah, I mean, normally I'm used to hearing about droughts out of California, so this is probably preferable.
Yeah, And guess what? We've been downgraded to moderate drought. And it only took 80 inches of rain.
We, meanwhile, have had, I believe, one of the snowiest winters on record just by sheer amount dropped. And over the past, like, month or so, a lot of it has melted off again, but we've been getting dumped on. I think this week is the first time it's going to get above 60 in a while, and hopefully it'll
Ooh.
just stay there.
Yeah, well, we know it won't, though. Minnesota is always, like, back and forth in the transition seasons. There we go. I'm gonna do these stars.
Okay, it thinks some part of this window box is still dirty, and I disagree.
Oh, well,
Man,
I was about to come check, but then it dinged. Oh, by the way, the season of Picard that I was in came out, and holy crap, did I get some good feature shots in that.
that's cool.
Daniel, throw some of those shots up on the screen real quick. There we go. Yeah, good. But yeah, like it was one of those things where I'm like, all right, my family got to see it. They have proof that I am doing what I say I'm doing out here. Because I kind of wonder sometimes if they're like, is he just like, I don't know, just like laying around and doing drugs all day? Like I don't know what they think I'm doing in Los Angeles. Only 3 of them have come to visit me out here, so. But I get it, you know. It's a trip for everybody, pretty much. And now that Chris is in Orlando, I've got a friend in each corner of the country. He's been texting me all kinds of updates about living in a redneck area. Like, especially because he, like, did a drive through the South to get there. So he was like giving me updates on the steady decline of certain aspects of, like the kinds of tolerance we've gotten used to.
Yeah. Yeah, Florida is not on the list of places that I would be interested in moving right now.
Oh, good God, no. Jesus. Every day it's like Florida man somehow still governor. Ugh. Hey. Alright, this is gonna be where it gets me.
Meanwhile, Minnesota has actually been making pretty good progress on a marijuana legalization bill that
I
is
saw that!
expected to clear this session, which I'm hoping means like potentially by early next year. I don't really know how long the process takes once the bills go through, but they are
Yeah,
intending to get it finished this session.
it's hard to tell because, like, I know what the timeline was for California, but California was one of the very first states, so it's probably going to be a lot faster now for states that are just legalizing. So I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, 'cause,
I
there are
guess
already out-of-state distributors that can be in talks.
oh, that's true. That's true. So they're like, hey, we've got the infrastructure in place. We know how to handle the logistics of this. It's pretty good stuff, man. It's pretty good. Um,
And then I didn't look
oh,
into
I
the
had finished
details,
the
but I also
stairs.
heard something about a like trans asylum state bill that was also going through. So
Yeah, Minnesota is pretty historically transpositive in a big way. So I'm not too terribly surprised, but it is nice to hear
yeah,
because,
it's
like,
a with
yeah,
everything else that's going on, it's kind of nice feeling like I live in a sane state.
yeah, I know the feeling. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like the DOMA era, though, and when like it prompted the backlash that basically resulted in national same-sex marriage being legalized. And I feel like the same kind of backlash is happening right now with all these really aggressive policies. And they know it's like an all or nothing situation. Like it's either they go full coup or they're all going to jail because what they're doing is real messed up.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's it's the logical result of their actions, because when you start using methods like gerrymandering, you get it so that a particular style voice gets drowned out. So then the only way for new blood to get in is through somebody getting primaried. And that's
Mm-hmm.
typically going to mean someone with a more extreme viewpoint grabs a specific percentage of your demographic and pushes, the entire conservative mindset further over. And then you just
Mm-hmm.
get more and more vicious competition until people are running specifically on like one issue of get as many people riled up as possible about this one thing and make sure that they outvote anyone else in the primary. And then, since the GOP has committed itself to this type of strategy and these type of people, they have to be allowed in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you get people with pity GEDs representing states.
Yeah. Is it sad that I don't even know which one you're talking about? I thought of three people immediately. Oh, and since we've last talked, I don't know if you were at all clued in on like what was going on this movie awards season, but after coming back and starting to get my award screeners, I watched and subsequently became obsessed with Everything Everywhere All at Once, and apparently I'm not alone.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of great things about it. I haven't gone out of my way to watch it yet, but I did at least hear some of the awards news that people were, appreciating that the film actually got recognition.
Yeah. Well, when you see it, it's a surprisingly goofy movie for what it is, but it works on every level, and I was deeply afraid that I was going to have it overhyped and I wasn't going to be able to enjoy it because, I'm a big believer in controlling expectations to affect your experience. Um, but it actually lived up to what everyone was saying, and a big part of that is it embracing the sillier side of what it is. And it's like the first movie in a while that I'm actually going to be looking to own a copy of because it's very, very rewatchable as well.
Yeah, the one awards notable movie I did watch was RRR,
Oh,
because
I
that
haven't
was
seen that.
on Netflix. That one is pretty good. Like it's just a big dumb action movie and it's great at it. So, if you just need like a chance to sit back for about 3 hours and watch something like stupid and exciting and fun, it just nails. I don't know. I don't have a good way to describe it, but it was definitely an enjoyable movie to watch.
It's strange because Everything Everywhere could also be described as a broad action flick. Like, I would say that's the primary genre that it is, and it has some of the best fight choreography I've seen in a long, long time. Apparently, it's like these two YouTubers who were also, like, very prominently featured in several fights in the movie. And, yeah, it's. God. And this isn't any kind of spoiler because it'll just like stand out a little bit when you hear it, but they managed to work a Super Smash sound effect into the movie, and God, does it just land? What was really obnoxious was when I did this boot level, I didn't have the scaffold as an option, so some of these roof bits were infinitely maddening.
Yeah, I mean the ladder gets you a good ways up, but I started up there with the scaffolding for a reason, to get those windows, because you just need a nice high flat angle. Well, honestly, little platforming tricks are part of the fun of this game. Just getting yourself
Mm.
into weird spots to hit the angle that you want.
Yeah, they do like that's one nice thing about the nooks and crannies is like they do have some spots where you do have to get a little bit creative and figure out the slope of the boot, for example. Because I swore I was able to jump up here before. Ah, I got it. All right, I need stubby gun for this. Stubby. Get the top of this window box. I've also been brainstorming more of season 2 of Dr. Watts, and I think like I had this idea to just like start making little sketches in the apartment with Mariah, just with the concept of, you know, we basically like start with like a little thing of like her interviewing me as a potential roommate. It's like it's okay, so it's this a month. Gas and electric is included. Blah 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 blah. The apartment's alive, and this is your room right here. And I'm like, wait, what? And we just have some comedy sketches centering around a poltergeisty type apartment.
Yeah, there leaves a lot of good options open for whatever kind of creative random stuff you want to do. Let's see.
By the way, did you catch any of Wednesday at all?
A little bit. I didn't watch the series myself, but I saw like some of the highlight scenes and some discussion of the series.
Yeah. Did you happen to see the video of, I think it was the SAG Awards, but they had Aubrey Plaza and Jenna Ortega present an award together?
Yeah, I did see that bit.
Okay, okay, okay. That's the important one. Oh my god. Good stuff, good stuff. Man, speaking of Aubrey Plaza, though, I did see a little bit of White Lotus, and she is phenomenal in that. That, I don't know really what to do with that show. It's definitely, like, got all of, like, the titillating subgenres. Like, it's a little bit mystery, it's a little bit sexy, it's a little bit drama. It's a little, you know, it's got a few laughs in there. But it's definitely like it feels like a guilty pleasure show, you know? I didn't see the previous seasons, but from what I understand, it's all centered around like a resort location.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. I haven't watched myself, but I kind of got the feeling that like, it took its seasons kind of the same way that American Horror Story does, where you don't really need to know what happened in a previous season to know that the same kind of shit is going to happen to this new batch of characters in the new season.
Yeah, I think like the first two seasons were connected, and then they're like resetting for season 3 or something. These shoelaces are all gunky. Where have been Trumps and oh, I guess they're pretty lenient too. Man, you are really floating on my screen.
Yeah, I am just barely at the top of the ladder.
No, you're like 3, 4 feet above the ladder for 6 feet above the ladder for me.
I don't know, from my perspective, my toes would about be at the top of the ladder.
Ah, from a certain point of view, I see. It's kind of funny that the ladder options appear for me when you pick it up. And I'm caught up on Marvel through Wakanda Forever, so I still need to see Quantum Mania.
Yeah, I haven't really been keeping up as much with Marvel. I Just haven't found myself being as interested since the end of the Infinity saga.
Yeah, you can't really beat that as an ending. It's like they that's the kind of end like landing you only stick once. And I think like it would have worked a lot. I think they're realizing now a little too late because like they announced, that they're scaling back on Marvel projects, and I'm like, man, you should have done that as soon as Endgame was out, because like part of the reason they had such frequency with the movies to begin with is because they were just starting to build all of this story in this world. And like once these characters and these settings are established, you really don't need to like keep up that pace of storytelling.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really so much the pace of the storytelling that they cared about, it was the pace of the box office releases
Right,
so they could
yeah.
keep making money.
Having a guaranteed hit for that long has got to change the way you see the business. It's yeah, it's fucked, but I kind of get it.
I mean, Marvel more or less got lucky with that initial project of Iron Man working out as well as it did. And then they
Yeah.
had something to work with that just kind of kept working. DC came in very early with the very straightforward, hey, this whole comics book thing is making money, let's make some money. And their initial showing did very poorly. And now it feels more and more like Marvel is caring more about, okay, let's keep making money off of this comic book thing rather than actually continuing to make anything that's good or, potentially giving up on a concept when it's dead. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think superhero movies are going to last forever. It can't be like a 3 decades long fad.
No.
Not unless one of them really starts doing something new and interesting. And
Well, that's
new
the
and
thing,
interesting
right?
hasn't
It's
really
not
been
gonna.
Marvel's big goal.
Yeah, it's gonna come from somewhere else. It's gonna be something that like. It's gonna be a new version of that, either that, just that entertainment fix or that whole genre in general. Like, and I felt a little bit like that when I was watching a lot of the awards movies this year. It was like, oh, I'm seeing like a real creative shift in both the kinds of stories being told and like the level of creativity in that storytelling. And now that like those movies are being made well enough, even on lower budgets, that they're still getting mainstream attention when they're really, really good. Like, I have a lot of hope for the non-franchise movies I saw this year. And ironically, like the two big award winners at the Oscars this year were both A24 movies. So clearly, something about their studio is being done right. And I bet it's giving up creative control to the creatives.
Yeah, I've never considered myself a fan of watching horror movies, but I do follow multiple YouTube channels that are primarily about discussing horror movies, and I find all of those fascinating. Like,
Ain't that
I
just the
love the
thing, though?
ideas in horror movies a lot more than I actually like the experience of watching them, but they are a great, like, style of the medium to use for a lot of different types of storytelling. And I think they're finally
Yeah.
starting to get more respect for it.
Well, yeah, and it was a thing I didn't even realize until I got into the industry is that, like, that's a lot of what movie makers start out with. Especially, like, it seems that a lot of people on the technical side get inspired by horror movies, and it makes sense when you think of them as, being kind of effects heavy genre films that are usually lower budget. And, you kind of have to get creative with it. Um, where the fuck is. Oh, there's some roof underside. That's probably the side here.
This boot wall has a little bit more as well.
It's probably like a
And
tougher
after that,
stain.
I don't know. I'm running out of things to clean.
Hey, got the roof underside. Oh, this wall. Oh, I see it. I see it. Oh, this window. There we go.
Let's trim somewhere.
Yeah, I got some trim for you. Where? F. Give me the scaffold.
Frame.
Give me the scaffold. Thank you. How do I rotate again? There we go. Well, nope. Okay. Okay, we're going this way. All right, I forgot there's a sprint. Oh, nope, not that way. I have to remember that the movement is just a hair less intuitive than I want it to be. Why did I come up here again?
This white section of the wall still has...
Oh yeah, that's actually what that's why I came up here. Can't really get it from here though. I need to rotate that.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me check some of these lower details. Oh, here's a wall that's probably got some. Oh, there's some right there. Under the planter, probably. By the trim. Come on. Get clean. Get clean.
Oh, wait. That trim needs it.
Like, for real, where am I missing? Like, I got that. There it is. My goodness.
There we go. Final three. One boot wall, one eyelet, and one wooden trim.
Oh, well, the eyelet should be easy to find. Eyelet. Not that one. Not that one.
Right.
Not that. It's on the other side.
Almost all the boot walls now. Which one's still dirty? There's the trim.
Eyelet. It's probably the top one. Wait. Oh. Hey! Alright, yeah, that was pretty quick. Is there anything I need to do?
Nope. That was just me going through the post game. So now, in addition to the skate park, you have the option of the vintage car or the forest cottage.
Oh god, the forest cottage is a job. Ugh.